Hello everyone, my name is Loco and welcome back to Lowkopia. Today we're gonna continue building city skylines right here, and obviously I'm gonna be recording for about an hour, but I'm gonna be cutting out all of the boring parts so you don't have to sit through it. Now basically what I did, I let the game run for about, I don't know, like 15-ish minutes or something, so we got a little bit more cash right now that we can actually use for, you know, obviously expanding the city and what have you. Now I've actually been thinking about mainly like fixing this little area right here, because there seems to be a lot of issues, and honestly I've basically let in this area like completely rot. I've made it at some point, like, feels like it's been months ago. It may actually be months ago, but ever since then it's never really been functioning very well, and I figured it'd be a good moment to at the very least try and figure out why it isn't working and how we can obviously fix this. So not enough goods to sell. What is exactly the problem with that? The building can become abandoned if nothing is done. Zone mere industrial zone to actually make sure that there will be goods to sell over here. Now that is the obvious problem that we got going on. The one thing that I want to watch out for is that if I put down, you know, an industrial zone in the middle of things right here, it's obviously gonna cause a lot of pollution, and the people are gonna get sick around it. So I've been thinking about it a little bit, and I'm thinking of maybe like just zoning out like one of these main circles, or like maybe like the middle bit right here, and then zoning in the entire central part as an industrial zone. So hopefully people will actually not get sick. They will only obviously live in the other places, and therefore we should have a bit better over time. So we're gonna be zoning out most of the places over here. People are complaining anyway. You guys don't really like me, turns out. And we're gonna zone out this little bit as well, which is gonna, you know, obviously it's gonna cost me a little bit at first, and there's gonna be a lot of people that actually leave. But if we zone in a bunch of industrial stuff right here, I'm thinking it's gonna actually be a lot better for us in the long run. So if we actually grab this one right here and start zoning it, now it's gonna cost us a little bit right now. Oh my god, it's actually costing me a lot as it is right now. Not a big fan of that, to be honest. Don't know if it actually was necessary to zone out that much. I'm just really scared of people getting sick again, because I've basically been having people be constantly sick in this city, which is not what we were looking for. It's costing a lot of money at the moment. Oh my god. Alright, maybe I should actually like zone in a little bit more right here. Just to know, there's like an empty bit right here in the middle, and like an empty bunch right there as well. There we go. I don't want to lose this much money. This is bad so far. Alright, so I let it run for a little bit. I moved around a bunch of the buildings as well, and it looks like we are actually out of the debt that we were having. Or we weren't really having debt, but we are at the very least not losing money anymore. So now there's actually a massive like industrial zone right there in the middle, which should hopefully at the very least like give these places wares to sell, right? It says not enough goods to sell, it still says that, but I'm thinking it's gonna fix itself in a little bit. Now ideally I also want to get a train station over here. Alright, so I can put it down right here, which is an option. It's just gonna be a little tricky to get the actual like train rails over here as well. Maybe we should actually put down the train rails first. I know that it's viable to at the very least get it over there though. So I can make a little exit right here, which is basically one of the main lines that we had already going. And just continue it onwards in this direction. That actually turned out to be surprisingly easy. I should probably actually fix this one as well. This angle is way too steep right here. But we'll look at that in a little bit. But I want to have a connected train line somewhere over here. Would that work? There we go. Got that one happening right there. We'll have to change up a couple of things, but I think this will work just fine. For some reason, it's only allowing me to connect it with a tunnel. And actually, I can perfectly see... I can see just fine why that is. There's a bunch of rocks right there. Hold on, can we move this thing over slightly? Is that possible? Like, I don't think it's gonna change anything at all here. I tried making it a little different, but I think this is just gonna have to like be a little tunnel or something. A little unfortunate though. I don't really like that, but we can obviously see if we can find a fix for that at some later time. Look at this silly little tunnel right here. This is like the silliest tunnel ever. Alright, there we go, there we go. So I made the Lokopian circles a little bit less circly, which is not what I was aiming for, but it's just temporary. There we go. That should work out fine, actually. Well, let me make sure that this is actually looking a little better than this. There we go, though. That should work just fine right there. And I know that I should try and avoid these kind of steep angles. You guys in the comment section have been pointing out that I cannot use these kind of steep angles like that, but I mean, for now, For now, I'll take it. We're actually gonna have to remove this little bit right here as well and just like make the crossing over here. Does this work? Well, I'm hoping it will. There we go. There we go. We got it working right there. It's just sitting right in the middle of things here. While we're at it, we'll just fix this super steep area as well. Like this corner right here is just awful. Well, that turned out to be a whole lot trickier than I expected it to be right there, but this should work out a little bit nicer just like this. So there's a bit of a split right there where trains can actually go by. Now I'm not completely sure if trains will start clogging up if we mess this up too much, but we'll just give it a try. So I'm gonna make a new train stop right here. Wait, how do I do this? Oh, snap. I actually accidentally made this a cargo train terminal. Although that actually may not be a bad thing now I think about it. That's why it actually also was so expensive. I was wondering about that. So I made this a cargo terminal instead. Oh. Okay, so what do we do with that? So I'm assuming that cargo trains will use the exact same train rails as the other trains do, right? Or at least I'm hoping so. Which means that it would be quite smart to like connect this area maybe over to the train stations as well. I think that would actually be... Yeah, I think that would actually be very, very useful. Now, I was already thinking about rebuilding most of this place, so I think this could be a nice place for exactly that. So what if we just simply add on like a cargo train rails over there, or we could actually move it in over there and like have it connecting the other way, which would be a little complicated, but it seems to already be kind of busy over here as it is. So we can just simply add one right here. That is an option. Oh god, people are very unhappy about that. Wait, can I like sort of test how unhappy they were? I saw a lot of like bad faces right there. I'm gonna put it down though. Ooh, it is gonna need some electricity. No, it's actually gonna be connected just fine. Now we just need to lay down the train rails to actually connect in over there. We're gonna have to make a little bit of a loop under right here, because else I won't be able to get past this little obstruction. Oh, I actually found a way to make a little... What's it called? I don't know exactly what they're called like that when it's trains, but it's basically like a high-rise sort of thing right there that goes over the road. Now in the process, I sadly did have to remove a bunch of the commercial zone right here. Shouldn't be the biggest of deals. But at the very least, we can continue our beautiful train rails here. I'm gonna have to make sure it goes over, maybe even until all the way over here. I mean, that would probably actually be our best bet. For some reason, this is turning out to be much more difficult than I anticipated. What I'm gonna do instead is just have it like go underground instead. I think that would be much smarter. For some reason, this is just it's just not really working. I know we can go underground though. That should not be much of an issue. Yeah, so there we go. I had to make a tunnel that basically goes from right there all the way over here. And it was a little expensive. It did cost like 50,000 or something like that. But at the very least, it will now be able to connect, you know, onto that area. So right now we can actually connect the cargo train station, this one right here, with the other one that we have. Oh, I accidentally actually made this a normal train station. Like a total... I do this sometimes where I really... It's so dumb. I actually was talking about these ones right here that obviously do not fit in this place right now. Am I really gonna have to remove a perfectly fine cargo train terminal? Or a normal train terminal? No, I'm not gonna delete it. Deleting it would be silly, and it's like a pretty good positioning here anyway. Like at the very least, people can make use of it. Okay, so there we go. I at the very least made sure that trains can go over here as well. And what happens is that those guys will actually go underground. And they will at the very least arrive where they need to be. Now we just need to find another place where we can actually put the cargo train terminal. Or the cargo train terminal that I tried putting down for the entirety of this episode. What we can do as well though is actually connect it inwards over here. So we have like sort of like a circle going on instead of what we had so far. So we can actually connect this one right here all the way over there. Although... It might actually cost me a bunch of my industrial right here, or my industrial zone, as well as a bunch of my trees. Trees are probably the worst bit right here, but let's just connect it onwards then. This should do right here. This should do right here. So actually, let me see if the trains automatically are smart enough to realize that right now there's a circle that they can actually drive. Nope, we'll probably have to create one manually, just like that. And we'll make sure that actually goes the other way as well. So there we go. Boom, so now trains can actually go all the way around and basically be useful everywhere. Now that also means that at the same time I can go ahead and actually create like a cargo train terminal somewhere else, and it should automatically connect in as well. Is that if I, as long as I actually connect it towards the main train rails. Or at least I'm pretty sure that is the case. So I'm thinking of maybe putting down one over here instead. There we go. So I made a cargo train terminal over here. There we go. I think this should work. Okay, so it's a bit of a mess right here in train rails. We can make that look prettier at some later time, but I think I can finally... I don't even know if I need to connect these ones. I think it may just automatically start working just by itself. We'll see if there's any any kind of trains that will be leaving here. I wish there was an easier way to figure out why this is happening over here. Like, I know that there's a lot of trains that come over here, but still, they really do start piling up pretty quickly over here. And it does turn out to be a bit of a mess. Maybe I should just delete this outside bit. I mean, wow! He did the big jump right there! Did you guys see that? That was amazing. Let me see if that, fixes any of the problems, though. So I haven't actually seen any of these cargo trains riding around at all. And this one is connected to the other one for sure. Like, people can actually go from one end to the other end. Which is going to be a bit of a messy one, but I'm sure they will actually be able to reach it. Although, actually, would I have to make, a triangle over here? Is that actually mandatory? Because else that could actually be a problem right here. Because I've literally not seen a single one go over there yet. There we go, got a bit of a triangle happening right now. So at the very least what can happen is that the train goes from over here. They cross over this little gap sort of thing over here. At which point, yeah, they should be able to go over there past the train go terminal into this area right here. So there's definitely a connection between the two. It's just a very, very long one. But for some reason, I'm not seeing any of the cargo trains happening. Guys, I found one. It's right over here. This is a freight train, but it's actually a cargo train thing. Which is pretty cool, because that means that people are actually making use of them. So he will be able to go to the left right here and make the longest loop around to, at the very least, connect two parts of the city together. And there's actually another one moving out right now as well. So turns out they are actually working. Sweet. Alright, so this cemetery is actually also finished emptying. I'm gonna be demolishing that one and making sure that I actually put down a crematorium instead, which seems to just be a lot more efficient. Actually, there's already another one over there. You guys don't need another one. Let's be honest now for a second. But at the very least, this industrial zone right here will be able to make use of the cargo train that is right next to it, which is pretty awesome. I'm actually kind of tempted to create another industrial bit right here. Yeah, we can zone out this area, which is gonna make some people very upset. That's okay. I don't really care. And then we can zone in some more industry over here, which I think is gonna benefit me a lot more in the long run. We can actually just zone in this entire place then. Yeah, it's gonna make some people leave the city, obviously, as it is right now. But at the very least, we will be able to actually, make use of that need right now that we got for industrial zones. I'll just zone out this bit. And the incineration plant, I guess it can stay right there. It's a nice little place for that to begin with as well. Because obviously it's a little bit further away from the actual city, which is nice. And the same goes for this incineration plant right here. I'm going to be moving that over right there, which should hopefully, at the very least, allow people to not get sick from it anymore. So there's still people complaining right here that there are still not enough goods to sell, which is a little unfortunate, but I'm assuming it's just going to be because I don't have enough industrial zones right now. So I can actually create another one right there. Just make sure that that one is work. Actually, the university apparently has some garbage issues, even though there's a landfill site right there. We'll just put it on a second incineration plant or something like that. Oh, this is why it's not actually working. It's because this area is not connected. Okay, so right now the Lokopian circles doesn't exist anymore, but I'm gonna just have to recolor it in. It's funny how surprisingly relaxing coloring in districts is. It's sort of like a coloring book right now for adults, right? Basically trying to color everything in and making sure I don't cross the lines. There we go, got all of the outlines. And now it's just a matter of actually getting this middle bit in here as well. And now we just need to make sure that this place right here is going to be included as well. So people will actually make use of the incineration plant right here. And make use of all of the other utilities that we got going on here. Ooh, for some reason the entire zone right here is out of electricity. Oh, hey, that's why. Alright, got a little bit worried there. I'm just going to make two right here as a backup. So at the very least they will have electricity once more. I was all of a sudden losing gold right there. I was like, what? What is happening? But there we go. Turns out the power line was disconnected on accident. So people over here are still complaining that garbage is piling up. I'm not completely sure why that is, because I do have an incineration pit relatively nearby. I mean, people can literally go over there. Guess we can make another one then, if they really, really are complaining about it. Alright, so there we go. Gonna just add this little bit right here to the district then as well. And we'll add like 2 incineration plants right there. So people will actually make use of them, hopefully. And that way we'll get rid of most of the sick people. And hopefully as well of... well, looks like we can only connect 1, which is a little unfortunate. Could probably add on a second one over here though. There we go. Need to make sure it actually has water. For some reason, not this entire zone is actually zoned in. What's up with that? There's a lot of room right there for more buildings, and for some reason it's just not happening. Interesting. Guess I'll add in another road like that or something, and hope that the people from the university finally found the will to drive over in this little tiny road to make sure they actually dump their trash. Like, why are they complaining? So I got 4 incineration plants really close by. Is it just not included in the zone or something? Is that what it is? Do I actually have to like actively color in like that? Is that gonna fix you guys as a university? Like your like problems that you got going on over here? I'm not sure. The university just doesn't like their garbage to be picked up by anyone else apparently. There's 4 incineration sites literally on like walking distance. Well, I guess this one is technically not walking distance. Maybe we should make it walking distance. Now look at it. This would be awful to live. Now, apparently there's a lot of crime happening over here as well, which is not good. So let me put down a station like that. And whoa, fire is apparently also an issue. So let's move one over there. Now there's a lot of people here waiting for transport apparently, like dead people waiting for transport, which is not a good thing. And it looks like actually the center bit right here is not working very well either, so we'll remove most of that. And it looks like magically the university has decided to dump their trash, finally. And there we are. That's gonna be it for this episode right here. We did manage to make quite a bunch of progress, especially as far as the train wheels go, obviously. And then fixing the Locopian circles. We are making more money than we have done in a very long time. And maybe in the next episode, if we expand this a little bit more and get a little more income, maybe close to like 10,000-15,000 per whatever this is, we can actually open up the airport once more, which is currently closed down because it was a little bit more expensive every single week than I thought it would be. Either way, I hope you did enjoy this episode. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button down below as well. And I'll thank you guys all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, and I will see you in the next one.